This video tutorial I will explain what is service discovery in microservices. In case of client server architecture, the client sends request to the server. Server receives the request, process the request and send the response back to the client. In case of monolithic application or small services, the service will be installed on one single physical machine and the physical machine has a static IP address and it won't change. In that case, if the client knows the host name of the server, the client can easily identify IP address of the server. Then using that IP address, the client can send request to the server. This is okay for monolithic application or small services. And in case of microservices architecture, based on the load, there will be multiple instances will be there for the same service. In that case, what is the problem and how to resolve the problem using service discovery pattern, we will see that. Here you can see for service B, there are multiple instances are there because load on service B is more and each service B is deployed on different physical machine and it has IP address. And here you can see the client send request to the load balancer and based on some algorithm, load balancer will decide to which service B instance it has to send the request. Suppose say the load on service B is even more. In that case, new service B instance will be added and it will be deployed on new physical machine and it will have IP address. And the load balancer doesn't know the new instance is added and its IP address. So load balancer doesn't know it has to route to the new instance and this is the problem. Suppose say the load on service B is reduced. In that case, one service B instance is removed and load balancer doesn't know the service B instance is removed and load balancer doesn't know it should not route the request to the removed service instance and this is the problem. We will see how to solve this problem using service discovery pattern. In service discovery pattern, the important component is service registry. Here you can see there are three instances of service B and service registry what it will do is it will store for each instance what is the corresponding IP address. Here you can see service B instance 1 what is the IP address, service B instance 2 what is the IP address, service B instance 3 what is the IP address. This information will be stored in the service registry. Suppose say the client service A send request to load balancer and load balancer based on some algorithm it decide to send the request to service B instance 2. Then load balancer will check to the service registry what is the IP address of service B instance 2. It is 192.11.10.2. Then that information will be passed to the load balancer and using the IP address the load balancer will send request to service B instance 2. One important point is whenever service B instances are started, that time it will register their IP address in the service registry. Suppose say there is more load on service B, then one more instance will be added for service B, that is service B instance 4. And in that case, the service B instance 4 will register their IP address in the service registry. And when client service A send request to load balancer and based on the algorithm, if load balancer decided to send request to service B instance 4, then load balancer will ask what is the IP address of service B instance 4 to the service registry. Then service registry will give it is 192.11.11.5 and using the IP address the load balancer will make request to the service B instance 4. Suppose say the load on service B is reduced. In that case, some instances will be removed. And if you see instance 3 and instance 4 of service B is removed. And that details will be updated to service registry. And if you see it has service B instance 1, service B instance 2, IP address details only there. and instance 3 and instance 4 IP address details are removed. In that way, the load balancer will send request to only 2 instances based on algorithm. This whole process is called server-side service discovery because the discovery is happening in server side, and here load balancer will get the particular instance IP address from the service registry, and based on the IP address, the load balancer will route the request to particular instance. So this whole process is called server-side service discovery. In case of client-side service discovery, the client will check IP address of a particular instance to the service registry, and service registry will provide IP address of particular instance to the client. Then using that IP address, client send request to the particular instance. Suppose say the client wants to send a request to service B instance 2. Then client will ask what is the IP address of service B instance 2 to the service registry. Then service registry will provide IP address of service B instance to us 192.11.10.2, and using that IP address, client will send request to the service B instance 2. And in most of the cases, server side service discovery will be used compared to client side service discovery. Suppose say the service registry component is down. In that case, the entire flow won't work. To avoid that, we have to make sure the service registry is highly available. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click on like button, and please subscribe to my channel. You can get Java source code and PowerPoint presentation for each and every video. That you can see it in the description section of the video. Click on show more, and here you can see the description, and here you can see the links to download source code and PowerPoint presentation.